Hello everybody out there in YouTube land. This is of course the great and glorious fantastic Nick Dutch back on the camera yet again one more time for another delightful video of me just like doing my normal stuff. And this particular video is going to be completely and utterly out of audio sync. Alright, so I just wanted to get that perfectly clear because of course I'm using the wonders of webcam technology. Yes! Which basically sort of like makes 1980s electronic calculators look really rather modern and futuristic. Now I've been having this bit of an exchange via private message with one particular YouTube user, and this is one of those moments that gets me just a little bit frustrated because it's difficult. I've done plenty of videos in which I've stated my case on this subject, stated where I'm coming from, and then you come across someone who hasn't seen what I was saying before and has jumped to a few conclusions based upon beliefs or certain faith positions that were quite interesting and of course very subject relevant, especially when it comes to matters relating to spiritualism, but fails to take into account what we know and what we don't know. Okay. This one particular individual is, I think, trying to approach the subject from the right angle, but doing it missing out a few intellectual, positions. I mean, I often say the same thing. Magic is not the art and science of changing conformity with the will, unless, of course, you're applying scientific reasoning to it. And it's actually intellectually flawed to turn around and use the phrase magic works, because it essentially expresses something simplistic like on and off. It either works or it doesn't, something quite that simple, you know what I mean? So the presuppositions and the problems with trying to explain things of an allegedly or apparently supernatural nature break down big time. They break down big time because of intellectual problems to do with what we actually know. Okay? Because what we believe and what we know are different things, and there are different qualities of knowledge, yes, and there are different qualities of belief. So the more you look into it, the more you realize that we don't really know anything. I mean, sometimes you can look at the way that humans think about life, and you'll see that it changes over time. On the first day of the first term in the first year of university, the average undergraduate goes in with the attitude that they can do everything, that they probably know everything, or they can achieve everything, and they're full of themselves. They've got this wonderful mentality. And then after 3 whole years of burying their head in textbooks, scientific studies, lab reports, essays, assignments, examinations, okay, staying up all through the night to try and cram information and try and really increase the quantity of knowledge that they've got. After 3 years, they leave university and realize that they know nothing, alright, because they feel that they know less than when they entered university. This is what actually happened to myself. So the more I find out, the more I realize that there is essentially just more to know. When you look at your education, you are educated to a certain simple standard and a simple standard of reasoning which you were encouraged to accept as being hard and fast reality. When you were a child, you were told by maybe your mother and father or your teachers in school about certain attitudes towards life, which were supposed to be somehow holding you in good stead, but they were too simplistic in reality, and you find that out with the passage of time. Okay, very simplistic forms of programming, basically, as far as let's say the way that you dress doesn't matter when, of course, you go to a job interview wearing a good suit for a reason, if you get my drift. Okay. And the same is true with all talk about everything to do with the supernatural. or the allegedly or apparently supernatural stroke, paranormal stroke, mystical stroke, you know, whatever on earth you choose to call it. And it's simplified by religious groups, it's simplified by occult groups or magical groups, because people express a belief, alright, which is essentially just a hypothetical, you know, ramble or some crap that they've pulled out of their head, and they express it as if it's a hard and fast fact. Okay? Then you go out into the world thinking, oh, that must be a hard and fast fact, when basically, no, that's not the case. Now, let me just reiterate this. If I was to see a ghost today, you know, full translucent human being, you know, dressed in Edwardian dress, you know, maybe, I don't know, top hat and opera cane, something like that, or if it's a female, maybe she's got a bustle on and a nice long flowing white floral dress with, you know, all that stuff, you know. And it's a translucent thing, and it says in a spooky sort of way, you know, why am I here? Oh, oh, oh. And so on and so forth, and then it sort of vanishes, and you know, reality is resumed, and I'm left sitting there going, you know. Fact of the matter is, it's a very strange experience. But we just don't know enough, even after having had dozens or tens of dozens or hundreds or thousands of these experiences, to be able to say that they actually mean that there is life after death, or indeed that there are ghosts. All we can say is that there are some forms of experiences which have certain defining characteristics which can be explained in this, that, or the other format. Okay? Now, when it comes to the Ouija board, which is fun, okay? I love playing with it. I mean, some people, you know, they've got like one of those PSPs or whatever the fuck they're called. Or, you know, some people play with those things. Okay, I enjoy playing Angry Birds on my Android, which is great fun. But the Ouija board itself is a great toy, using like the ideomotor effects and all kinds of other forms of fun psychology. It's a fascinating device, and what comes out of it can sometimes be scary or interesting, or in some manner enlightening. It's peculiar. It's freaky, and all the history and mythology associated with it. It's just like, yes. I mean, it's an anthropological study in its own right, but the results of it, we don't know what it means, because it's just an experience, and we really have to see that in clarity and practicality, and we mustn't jump to too many conclusions. If I do a Ouija board seance and the spirit, we don't know whether there's a spirit or something inside my own mind, for Christ's sake, or indeed whether there isn't something inside my own mind and there's something else going on, we don't know. But whatever this thing is, this thing, or lack of thing, identifies itself as Satan, does it mean to say I have summoned Satan and I am talking to Satan? No, it means that a certain strange form of experience has occurred and we know nothing as to what it means. Absolutely nothing. Right, that's the level of humility we have to be in, intellectually speaking, if we're going to be good occultists. Alright, because otherwise you're just basically in a fantasy world of, oh no, it's a spirit, oh it's a fairy, you know, don't be like that. It's not good for you to think like that. You know, get rational. Play with these tools. The experiences are great. They're strange. And yes, we have to keep this stuff alive somehow, so that at some point in the future, people will be able to start thinking like, you know, what this stuff really means. But we can't do that yet. None of us can, especially not you out there. And definitely not me. Or anybody who's associated with the paranormal psychic world. Just, you know, get that nice and clear.